Greetings, my scattered sisters and brothers in the Lord. Trust you know the Lord is with you wherever you find yourself scattered today, and that you know that his presence with you is more than enough for whatever you might face today. Our psalm today is Psalm number 55. It's a little bit long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I do want to talk about a couple of parts of it. And it sounds like the psalmist is in a time of deep distress, and that distress is especially coming from a betrayal from a close friend. And so I'll just kind of skim on through parts of it. Verse 1, listen to my prayer, O God. Do not ignore my plea. Hear me and answer me. My thoughts trouble me, and I am distraught because of what my enemy is saying, because of the threats of the wicked, for they bring down suffering on me and assail me in their anger. My heart is in anguish within me. The terrors of death have fallen on me. Fear and trembling have beset me. Horror has overwhelmed me. I said, oh, that I had the wings of a dove. I would fly away and be at rest. I would flee far away and stay in the desert. I would hurry to my place of shelter, far from the tempest and storm. It sounds like the psalmist is in such distress that the psalmist would like to just run away, fly away. I've had the wings of a dove. Don't know if you've ever experienced times so hard as that. I'm sure you have. To where you would just like to leave. And that's where the psalmist is at, just wants to leave the whole situation, be far from it, fly away from it, never have to face it. We go through times like that. We go through situations like that where we would just like to leave and not have to face the trouble that's in front of us. He goes on, just day and night, Verse 9, Lord, confuse the wicked, confound their words, for I see violence and strife in the city. Day and night they prowl about on its walls. Malice and abuse are within it. Destructive forces are at work in the city. Threats and lies never leave its streets. It sounds like it's just a very violent, horrible time. If an enemy were insulting me, I could endure it. If a foe were rising against me, I could hide. But it is you, one like myself, my companion, my close friend, with whom I once enjoyed sweet fellowship at the house of God as we walked about among the worshipers. So it's not just that there are enemies or foes who are against the psalmist, but the psalmist is feeling this deep, deep betrayal from a close friend that they used to worship the Lord with. And so instead of facing the trouble, the psalmist would just like to leave it all, just fly away, sees the violence, the strife everywhere, and it's so close to home, it's a close friend. Psalmist just wants to leave. But look how the psalm ends. He's still talking about his companion down at verse 20. My companion attacks his friends. He violates his covenant. His talk is smooth as butter, yet war is in his heart. His words are more soothing than oil, yet they are drawn swords. Again, just the agony of this. Deep, deep betrayal by a dear, by a close friend. And now it's like the whole world is just filled with violence, and the psalmist wants to run. Well, fly if he had wings. Verse 22, cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. But you, God, will bring down the wicked into the pit of decay. The bloodthirsty and deceitful will not live out half their days. But as for me, I trust in you. Sounds like the psalmist is going to stay, that the psalmist isn't going to run or flee or just try to leave, that the psalmist is going to stay put, and the psalmist is going to cast his cares upon the Lord because he knows that the Lord will watch over the righteous. And so, as for me, I trust in you. Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. So I don't know where you might be scattered today. I don't know what you might be facing. I hope life isn't as bad for you today as it sounds like it is for the psalmist. But I hope that you learn, I hope that I learn that we don't just leave, we don't just run away. There may be times where God moves us and we do go through changes. But ultimately, instead of being runners, we are casters. We cast our cares on the Lord, knowing that he will sustain us. And so we place our trust in the Lord rather than flying away and somehow escaping. So wherever you find yourself scattered today, Cast your cares on the Lord. He will sustain you. God bless. Have a great day.